Go bananas, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Evan, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce, and today we are pushing forward through our journey with Sonic the Comic, Fleetway Sonic, whatever you want to call it, and, well, today we've got 9 Sonic stories and 1 Tails story, so that's kind of a weird balance. But we are beginning tonight by... Oh man, we're following up all of this amazing Dracon Empire stuff we've got going... No, we're not.
Of course not.
We're starting off tonight with a story called Raining Bananas, written by Stringer and drawn by Pritchett. In a special rhyming tale, Emerald Hill is beset upon by a rain of bananas.
Your synopsis should have also been rhyming.
Yeah, I thought it was going to. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly.
In a special rhyming tale, Emerald Hill is beset upon by some banana hail?
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Look at that, I can improv. I'm like a real rapper.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Please never ask me to rap anything. Anyway. Well, what do you want me to say about this?
I think literally my only note for the story is bananas.
Okay, well, first of all, yeah, making all the text in the story, including narration and dialogue, rhyme, it's something that sets it apart. I just don't care all that much.
Pretty much.
Sometimes they're just silly stories, and that's okay. But yeah, I mean, Sonic's running around, and suddenly there are a bunch of bananas, and Sonic is like, well, naturally, this must be, you know, the work of our villains, because I mean, I guess it has to be, just logically, because who else would cause madness like this? But also, it's madness, and
hey, we had a villainous weather reporter last time.
It's true.
That's true. So it might not have been. Grimer, actually, apparently, this is actually where most of the substance of the story is that it finally explains what the heck the other stories were going on about when Sonic was like, oh, you know, all these badniks are coming from Flicky's Island. I get it now. All of these stories, the silly side plots, take place when Robotnik disappears and then Grimer's left behind, because it was mentioned in dialogue that Grimer was alone for at least a time, and so he must have been trying to basically make Robotnik proud in the meantime. Because Robotnik doesn't show up in this story, so I assume Grimer is on his own. That's what it looks like.
Right.
And he's fumbling a little bit, and, you know, somehow missiles become bananas. Don't question it.
He tries to launch a bunch of missiles. How does that become banana?
He screwed up the matter transporter? Or the matter replicator?
I guess. This thing looks like a friggin' TARDIS console, but...
It does,
It does!
I don't know. But not a big deal for Sonic. He spins them all up into a tornado and throws it at Flicky's Island, I guess.
Yep.
And it's funny because it says he's vanquished, which is funny because Sonic did not stop the rain of bananas. He just moved them, and Grimer stopped the rain of bananas by smacking the console with a mallet.
Oh yeah, well they don't care once it goes over to Grimer. As far as they're concerned, it doesn't affect them anymore. That
is true. I didn't actually... That's a subtle detail. If Sonic had done nothing and he hadn't even been here, like, it just would have stopped raining bananas. Everyone would have been like, wow, that was weird.
That's true, yeah. Grimer would have just done it on his own.
I don't know. I can think of worse fates than just having a lot of bananas.
There's plenty of potassium.
So yeah, that's that story.
It is certainly a story about bananas.
We're going to move on to a more serious affair. Not completely, but a little bit more. This is the Detour, Kitching and Elson. Sonic and Tails find themselves in a mysterious labyrinth high above Mobius, where apparitions of monsters conjure themselves at their very word. So we got some classic Sonic feel in action. You know, we got Sonic and Tails, we got the plane, we got High in the Sky. This is exactly how famously great game Sonic Lost World begins.
Yeah, they do this. They do this as introductions a number of times across different media in the series. It makes sense.
Yeah. But you know, we're flying up in the clouds, and then we touch down on a cloud.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
A little odd, but Tails is like, oh, this is like being stuck in a maze, and hey, we are in a maze. It's like a rock labyrinth.
It is literally the labyrinth.
Yeah,
There's
Tails is like, hey, sorry.
There's something going on weird here. If you look in the background in these drawings, there are like geometric shapes. It's quite odd.
Yeah, there's some like odd geometric shapes in like the sky.
I thought at first that might have been faded from like scan quality or something, but no, that's actually drawn in.
Yeah, that's part of the art. It's a weird one.
Well, the rocks have weird geometry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a literal labyrinth complete with Minotaur.
Yeah.
As Tails notes right before it shows up. So that attacks them, but they don't feel like fighting. I guess Sonic doesn't want to, so they run away. And Tails is like, oh no, we gotta stay away. What if there's Yetis or something? And yes, there are Yetis, so we run away from those too.
Certainly interesting that everything that Tails brings up comes to life.
Yes, Tails.
I honestly didn't question it until this next one, because that's just how stories go sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah, Sonic is like, Tails mentioned a maze, the Minotaur, the Yeti, and the entire tribe of Yetis right before they showed up. There's something fishy about this. So it's, that's the thing, is that this comic has a history of just conjuring things as it requires them, so it's not... It's like, I'd almost call it a deliberate misdirect, but you guys still do that, so I don't know.
When the characters in the story notice it, that's when you know something weird's going on.
Yeah.
I guess, it's just, were we supposed to notice beforehand? I don't know. But Sonic decides, I'm going to run out in the open and shout at whatever's causing this.
And it works?
It does.
It does work, and it's a Tantaroar.
The heck? I didn't expect these guys to show up again.
Yeah, from that one comic with Knuckles and the Plunder Pirates, I completely forgot about these.
I would have expected them to more show up in another Knuckles story, not a random Sonic and Tails story.
Yeah, it's a very strange addition here, as is the conclusion, because it's kind of not much of one.
The conclusion is a straight-up rip-off of a Star Trek episode.
Alright.
Is it?
Yeah,
That uncommon of a plot line?
I don't think it's an uncommon plot line, but the way they set it up is very similar to Squire of Gothos, which admittedly is an excellent episode of the Star Trek: The Original Series. So if you're gonna steal the plot line, it's not a bad choice.
It's funny, I was about to say, well, I remember a Futurama episode with this same plot, but then I remember that Futurama episode is the one where they have all the Star Trek cast guest stars.
Yeah, that entire episode is just Star Trek.
Yeah, so, Sonic and Tails are ready. We have to explain what the conclusion is first.
Yeah.
Sonic and Tails are ready to fight, but this Tantaroar guy is like, he reveals that he's just playing around, and so his dad comes to tell him to stop messing with them.
Yeah, stop. If you can't take care of your pets, you can't keep them.
I also find it funny that Sonic is like, hey, I refuse to play your game, and then they instantly reveal themselves. Like, they could have just not. Like, what's Sonic gonna do? Not fight for his life?
Well,
I think the point is that they're not very smart, because their parent literally is like, wow, you're irresponsible. Probably that's part of the reason, actually.
Maybe, but also it might just be that, like, he's not a heartless monster. Like if you were a child playing with your toys and then they started talking to you, telling you to stop, I would stop. I hope I would stop. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I was a pretty fucked up child.
Good to know.
The parent doesn't directly acknowledge Tails or Sonic either way, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. But
anyway,
moving on. We move on here to Crisis in the Chemical Plant Zone. Kitching and Elson. Sonic and Tails are called to the chemical plant zone by one old enemy to help defeat another.
That's true.
Yes.
Yep, we are in our Emerald Hill new base place, and we are getting a distress call from the chemical plant, warning of a huge ecological crisis. And we're wondering at first, is this a trap? Because it could easily be a trap. There's no visuals. But Sonic decides to take a chance anyway. So we're heading to chemical plant, and I like the detail that they're like, well, Eggman's not here anymore, but it's still chemical plant, so it's still crappy. We need to work on purifying it if we really want to get rid of his influence completely.
Well, I also really hate before that Sonic, Jesus. says, "Cool it, Tails. With Robotnik out of the picture, we've got nothing to worry about." Even though that's been proven to be wrong multiple times already.
He's not out of the picture even.
Yeah, he's also not out of the picture.
But yeah, so they end up in an office for a meeting with the directors.
Plural.
Yes. And it's the Marxio brothers. Yeah, it's been forever since we saw these
Yeah,
guys.
let's say it's been a while since we've seen them.
I completely forgot about them, honestly.
I mean, yeah, fair.
As far as my notes at the time went, it was 135 pages of notes since their last appearance.
Damn.
Oh.
I don't know how many episodes that corresponds to.
It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot for, you know.
These guys bought out the plant after cutting ties with Robotnik.
How did they do that? Is Marxia World selling really well?
It must
I don't
be,
know.
Even though Sonic seemed to hate it.
I'm trying to think when the last time we saw them was. I think it was in that Angel Island story with Knuckles, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wait, did they keep ownership of... No, the
Well,
amusement park crashed to the ground.
Yeah,
They
but
still had it.
it didn't really. Well, yeah, but I assume at least it was at least mostly destroyed when it hit the ground.
Well,
Well,
there's
ambiguous.
multiple layers to this, because the question one of how they cut ties with Robotnik, that I would say is that maybe after they fell off Angel Island, he thought they were dead. That would be my first guess. And then question two is how did they get the money to buy Chemical Plant? And
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the electrician job. No, wait. We had an EMP. They got an electrician jobs all
Oh my
across the board,
God.
restoring power.
That's a good point.
That's it. That must be it.
Anyway, they say that Robotnik misled them. No, he didn't. You guys know exactly
Not
what he's
really.
doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a blatant lie.
Yeah.
But they're here running Chemical Plants, and they say that it's an honest effort, and they have a problem that they need Sonic's help with. So, Hatman, what is his name? Chikio? Is that this one?
Problem is they don't ever call them by name
yes.
individually, so...
Yeah, but
I think so, yeah.
Hat Guy, he shows them, the boys, to the problem that they called about, which is a factory clogged with pink gunk and possibly going to explode, and all the other workers are too scared to investigate it. Sonic, we need you to risk your life for us.
We know what pink gunk usually is.
Yeah, it's
Mega Man. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
But they venture through the goo looking extra gross here, like a color-shifted Nickelodeon special. But I don't know what that even means. Some of it... The point is, they get attacked by dudes. Some of the gunk comes to life and attacks them in semi-humanoid form.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect Megatox to return. That's crazy.
We've seen Megatox since their first appearance, though, right?
I
Nope.
don't think so.
No?
Nope, that's part of the joke here, is that...
Oh, I know, because Sonic doesn't recognize him, or at least initially.
Yeah,
It takes a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we'd seen him since then.
I don't think so.
No, we mentioned him before. I remember that because we've seen Mega Mac since then, but not
Yeah.
Megatox.
Maybe I'm just thinking of seeing Mega Mac.
Well, and we've had other, like, liquid villains.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Sonic...
Yeah. This is
Sonic
our second time
splashes the
seeing
gunk
him.
out of the way. They dunk through a sewer pipe through the main area, and it's all collecting and coalescing into a bomb that would poison huge amounts of the surrounding area. Oh no!
Oh no.
And the goo declares it's all part of his revenge plan against Sonic, and Sonic's like, it can't be, because who the hell are you?
I've never met you.
Yeah, and this all has him reveal that yes, it's Megatox, like from episode 1, I think was the time we covered that.
Yeah, it's such a
was
deep
it?
callback.
I mean, good shit for doing that.
It's
Well,
weird because like there's plenty of stuff from this comic that if you brought it back, I would not have remembered it. This is one that's
Sure.
really easy to remember.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I instantly recognized it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when Sonic is like, I don't know who you are, I was like, is this not Megatox? He started making me question myself.
Yeah,
But,
that's
no,
what I
it
was thinking,
definitely
was like-
is.
Is this not the character I think it is?
Plus, at the end of that story, there was literally a hint that Megatox could return because Sonic's like, well, hope they don't pull themselves back together again. Well, I'm not waiting to stay and see.
I guess the way that it is that, you know, for us, that was only a few months ago. For readers, that was multiple years, and it also was multiple years for the characters in the comic.
Right. I guess when you look at it that way, it does kind of make sense.
But, I guess it's also that I don't think Sonic has ever forgotten a villain at any other point in this story.
Yeah, that's the... I don't know. It's weird.
I definitely think it's a joke.
It is a joke,
It likely
obviously.
is, yeah.
I mean, that's why Sonic gets his name wrong, calls him Mr. Talks. But, it's cool. He's actually kind of horrifying in this drawing here. His gross eyes look like orbs.
Oh, yeah.
But he is using electricity generated from the rest of the plant to, like, harden himself?
Something like that.
I don't understand how it works, but yeah, basically they can just turn solid if they feel like it.
Right.
So they can beat up Sonic more effectively.
Which is good. He can impact Sonic rather than just, like, I guess, wash him over with poison. Even though, you know, he bops Tails real fast, and then the poison is actually what Sonic struggles with. He gets more and more poisoned by the second.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sonic is getting very, very poisoned and about to die, which means that we need a big hero to come save him, right? No, he just figures it out.
That's fine.
It is fine, but it happens a lot, where it's like, all hope is lost for Sonic, and then Sonic just doesn't.
Yeah.
He was stalling on purpose to try to trick Megatox.
I guess, but the thought bubbles imply that he really is poisoned enough. I don't know.
Yes,
Oh,
but at the very end, he's like,
enough.
I just need to wait for the right moment.
He might... Well, he could very well be poisoned. It's just that he also still has a plan.
Yeah. Well, and that plan is that apparently Megatox can only be either entirely solid or entirely liquid, so Sonic just needs to hit him in the middle of an attack.
Which... Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
It's yet again another thing that I'm like, this would make a great video game boss.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool.
My question is, how much of the substance itself is the guy? Like, where does he end and the pools of it begin?
That's a good question.
Liquid creatures in fiction don't really make much sense because, like, they're usually drawn with, like, liquid coming off themselves, so it's like, what, are you constantly falling apart? It doesn't make much logical sense.
Maybe he's just really
humans
sweaty.
are constantly shedding dead skin, but...
Yeah, but often it can come off as easily as it can reattach, so it's like...
That's true.
It's like, where's the central vital component? Don't think about it too hard.
What, you're not gathering balls of skin flakes to reabsorb into... This is gross, I don't know why I'm saying this. Anyway, so that's the ending. Sonic still suspects the Marxia brothers, but they seem sincerely appreciative of his help defeating the monster. So, good on ya? I don't know.
I feel like it's not at all impossible that they were just using Sonic and not trying to trick him this one time. However, they're probably plotting something with the chemical plant.
Maybe.
More likely, yeah.
Well, we're not going to find out about that now. Instead, we are moving on to Best of Enemies, Kitching and Elson. The Dracon Empire makes its move on Sonic, hoping to gain access to his Chaos Emerald knowledge, but Robotnik better keep quiet about his own information. So, yeah, we're going back to the Dracon Empire, and they have some kind of witch doctor saying that they need Sonic for an ancient prophecy, I guess?
Yep.
And the Emperor finally has a name now. He's Emperor Kodor.
Yep. And this witch doctor, as you called them, their name is Hagra. They're from the House of Magic. Last time you spoiled that Kodor was the head of the House of War. This is when we're formally introduced to the houses of war, magic, and knowledge.
I'm going to be honest. The reason that I said that, I completely didn't know that there even were different houses. And that makes the rest of this make a little bit more sense, because I had no idea why he was lying to Hagra here. Because he says, oh, I had a prisoner who kind of looked like him, but he was taller and purple. What? And I guess that means that he was saying it because he let Sonic go, and if they're saying, "Oh, we need him," it's like, "Oh, well, I can't let them know that it was my fault that he got away."
Yeah, it's spelled out later in this story, but yeah, there's internal treachery going on here. It seems like these three individuals sort of have equal rule of the Dracon Empire, and well, they're Kodor may be wanting to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. But either way, they want Sonic because he's got Chaos Emerald knowledge. I guess it's like they say he knows the secret of the emeralds. Lots of people know how the emeralds work. Sonic knows where they are.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is what they're talking about. It's not quite so obvious here, but again, later in this comic, it will become clear that, yeah, I think it's the location of the Chaos Emeralds.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that makes more sense.
Sonic himself is busy with his usual badnik busting action, and Robotnik...
These flicky badniks have instantly been downscaled to just regular badniks. He destroys these so easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, basically, and it's,
It was bound to happen.
Well, it's because, like, we had them for an issue, but then we introduced a new powerful robot, because we see, Robotnik spying on him and all this, but he shows that we have more Knuckles Metallixes in production.
True, yeah.
Yeah, these are the new super badniks.
Yeah. He's not going to get a chance to deploy him right now, because Kodor shows up through the ring portal and confirms... Yeah, I had to lie about not knowing about Sonic, but either way, he's saying, this is your end of the deal to hold up. You have to get me the emeralds, and that means going after Sonic. Even though the new metallics aren't done yet. But then we get... Sonic feels a disturbance in the Force?
It happens sometimes.
It does.
I guess. But then he's like, it's probably nothing.
Must have been the wind.
Because Robotnik isn't in power over Mobius now, so things can only get better again, right? What?
Oh, yeah. Clearly, yeah.
Why?
The weird thing is that this is at the end of a part, so, like, they wanted to end it on this note. But in the very next part, he gets jumped. Wouldn't you want to end it on that note?
Honestly, yeah.
Well, I don't know why they wrote it like this, because... Obviously, Robotnik is about to make a grab for the emeralds, and Sonic doesn't need to have Spidey sense. Why do you give him instincts and then have him ignore them? Like, just have him not know what's happening to begin with. Anyway, yeah, here's a Sentinel to punch him in the face.
Damn.
Yeah, they're attacking Sonic on Robotnik's orders since he knows where the emeralds are and doesn't want to give them to Dracon.
This is another big brain move from Robotnik, because Kodor comes over and is like, hey, we don't have time to waste. Give me those Chaos Emeralds. Robotnik's like, I know. Well, I mean, I know where the Chaos Emeralds are, but instead, I'll just have him go after Sonic. And that way, it will stall him, and, if Sonic gets captured, it's not the worst thing for Robotnik.
It's duplicity on duplicity. Kodor is lying to the people he's trying to usurp about not knowing about Sonic, and then Robotnik is lying to Kodor about not knowing where the emeralds are so that he can usurp him.
It's absolutely wonderful. These are the perfect villain alliances. I love it.
Honestly, yeah.
Yep. But Sonic beats that Sentinel, but then a bunch more show up with the Prosecutor as well. But Sonic's like, this is my home turf. Emerald Hill's environment. I can be resourceful. So he like smacks him with a tree and like coconuts and stuff.
He also like goes into a loop-de-loop to build up a bunch of momentum and then uses his body to destroy one.
Yeah, they really allow, even though these dudes are not technically robots, the fact that they're just fish heads piloting robot bodies means that Sonic can really just like disassemble them.
Yep.
Although, actually, now that I'm looking at it, the Prosecutor has a green face, but the Sentinels are all monochromatic. Are the Sentinels robots? Is that why the one that fell apart, because that one was a robot too?
I got the feeling that the Sentinels were robots.
All right, well, let's say that they are, and that's the other reason. Because it looks
plus
like this
Sonic
one
can
has
just murder
wires
them.
coming out of his head when Sonic blows him to bits, so...
Yeah.
But that's fine. The prosecutor's like, oh, you think that's all I had? Here, I'll pull out a Master Sentinel, which is much bigger. It's kind of like the one from the first episode.
Yeah, it's the one that Sonic. It's like the one that Sonic initially destroyed.
Yeah. But he doesn't order it to kill Sonic. He orders it to destroy the civilian areas. So Sonic is distracted, so to speak.
What a bastard.
Yeah, these guys like had their sort of system of fairness in their own eyes, but they just thrown it all out the window at this point. I think Kodor was just trying to make it seem like, oh, everything's totally running normally around here last time, and now when he's, you know, not on his home turf and doesn't have people watching him, we get to see his true colors.
He didn't know that Sonic had any significance or value before.
I guess that's also true.
And I mean, they are still an empire. They're still gonna do empire shit. So yes, the Master Sentinel grabs Sonic, but Sonic easily escapes.
Yeah.
May as well have done nothing. But
I don't.
he spins it into like a whirlpool in the ocean, but then it comes back up with one of its nipples missing. I don't know what to call these things. The circular indents on its armor.
There are nipples.
In any case, one of them now has a hole in it, so you know what that means whenever there's a hole in a big robot in these comics.
Oh, yeah.
So Sonic gets inside and tears up all of the mechanical bits inside it.
Boom, boom, bang.
Yeah, it sure seems like he's a robot, because he doesn't seem to have a fish face.
Well, the big Sentinel's definitely a robot.
Yeah. I mean, the other one was, so.
Right. So I guess within that case, it makes sense then that to say that the smaller ones are also robots.
Yep. So Sonic has won, but you know what? Sonic isn't really what's important here. What's important is this last page.
Yeah, so there have been some conversations going throughout this story that we didn't really touch on amidst the action. It like flashes to Robotnik so he can be like, ha ha ha, or Kodor can be like, ha ha ha, or Grimer can be like, are you sure this is a good idea? To Robotnik, and he's like, of course, you fool, after he chokes him, like usual. But here, suddenly Grimer makes a move, and he's like, hey, you know, Kodor, Robotnik's been lying to you. He actually already knows where the Chaos Emeralds are. I've decided that I don't want to work for him anymore. So yeah, I'll show you where they are. And like, what? Excuse me, Grimer, like the most loyal follower of Robotnik ever, doesn't care no matter how much he's abused. Like, this is top 10 plot twisted fiction. What the heck?
Yeah, the doormat was a little skeptical beforehand, but he's like, oh, your plan's too dangerous before, which I don't know that it is, but okay. Yeah, but suddenly being like, yeah, I'm tired of the abuse and straight up betraying, and I'm gonna lead the Emperor to the Emeralds. And it's like, wow, that's a big change. I want to see what comes of this.
Yeah.
The answer is nothing yet.
Yeah, not a whole lot at the moment.
Instead, we have Hot Legs, Stringer, and McMahon.
That's certainly a name.
The people of Emerald Hill burn effigies of Robotnik to relax, but one of them seems a bit weird.
Jesus Christ.
It's a little intense, yeah, to burn images of Robotnik.
We're a little stressed out. Let's go burn effigies of Robotnik.
I mean, if you have to burn an effigy of something,
I guess, yeah, burn the effigy of the dictator that was destroying the planet for years.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a little wild.
Everyone has made their own. They're all, different levels of craftsmanship going on here.
I love they're all arguing which one's ugliest.
Yeah. But this pig guy shows up with a giant wooden one on wheels, and it's a Trojan horse, isn't it?
Of course. Of course it's a Trojan horse.
What are you, the Raining Banana story? But it's even an anonymous gift from overseas, so it's not even something that somebody made. It's just like, And yeah, I guess this story comes before the last one, because Robotnik and Grimer are behind it. They're in like, what, 2 panels of this story, and they're both tiny. But yes, the Trojan horse is full of badniks. I hope you hear the air quote around badniks.
been a while since we've had an absolutely not badnik-looking design.
They're like
Kind of
flying
unhinged
imp heads.
design. Kind of unhinged.
They look
Little.
like Zelda bokoblins.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with these things are. They shoot lasers out of the circles in the bottom of their heads. Which I guess makes them kind of like that Sonic CD Badnik that just shoots lasers directly downward.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Tails flies and distracts them while Sonic runs circles around the wooden Robotnik until it catches on fire.
You know, it's surprising. Usually, all the citizens are just dunking on Tails. But when they first see Sonic running circles around, they're like, wow, Sonic has really just let Tails do all the hard work, and he's just running in circles. That's surprising.
Yeah. And yeah, he uses the friction to set it on fire, which I guess works. And then Tails, I guess, leads all of the remaining robots into position for it to like fall on top of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not sure about the logistics of that physically. It just looks weird, I guess, but I guess that works.
Yeah.
And that's the story. So the little filler throwaway story.
Yep.
But that's okay, because hey, it's supersonic.
Oh, yes, it is.
It is Hunter and the Hunted, Kitching and Dobbin. Supersonic, still without his memory, stumbles into the groovy train bar in Metropolis, but someone from the Special Zone is making a grab for his latent power. And, hey, it's Ebony and Pajamas from that one Knuckles comic.
Wow.
Apparently they run a bar here in Metropolis. I guess I didn't know what their job was before, because they were both just protesters.
Right, fair.
But they're hanging out. But oh no, the visions are coming to me. Something powerful is showing up, and Supersonic wanders into the bar.
The swirly eyes he always has makes him look just really confused most of the time.
He's in a bar. He's got swirly eyes. You know, everybody's got swirly eyes. They're all drunk.
Fair enough.
Do they do like a kid-friendly thing and say like there's not alcohol here?
I don't think they do.
Okay. Because I was wondering if that was going to be an incongruity, because we have had references to actual, like, drinks and stuff in this.
Well,
comic.
yeah, I think last episode...
the beer money.
The beer money, yeah.
Wait, so he got the beer money and then went to a bar.
Oh, yeah?
No, he says later on he spent pretty quickly he spent all his money already.
That's true.
On what?
That's a good question.
Living expenses?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I think he's just been wandering around Metropolis. I don't think he has anywhere to live.
Yeah. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
A number of people don't have anywhere to live, actually, because we see some presumably homeless individuals, and it's interesting because they're like, wow, this town's just getting worse. I thought after Robotnik was defeated, things would look up, which, again, another glimpse. It's fascinating how they're leaning really hard into, like, Robotnik was defeated and a lot of things stayed bad.
It's weird and interesting that they're doing that.
Yeah. Which is to say, these dudes, yeah, they're chilling, or not chilling, I suppose, because their lives suck, but they're hanging out around a burning trash can, but then the wall is destroyed by a different burning trash can. It's Biohazard, one of the Sidewinder creeps.
The heck?
I'm gonna be honest, I'd already forgotten most of them existed.
Yeah, I kind of thought we were done with these guys after the final victory story, but
yeah.
They managed to teleport Biohazard here from Special Zone, which presumably means that they don't have access to Omniviewer tech or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, they just figured it out somehow. It's because Sidewinder is just obsessed with Supersonic now for some reason.
Yeah, he's still all about Supersonic's power, even though he's weakened. Also, hey, Lightmare, why are you still hanging around your dad? He sucks. You went before because you didn't want him to die, but he's not dying now. She should leave.
I mean, yeah, she should.
Anyway.
It's like, you know, your parent is kind of losing their mind a little bit. You got to stay to make sure they don't hurt themselves.
Except it's fine if he hurts others. He smacks the shit out of Mr. Fry.
Mr. Fry is tough. He can take it.
I know. It's just, he's not a dictator like Robotnik is the thing. He doesn't have, like, big institutional power. Why are you still on his side?
He is really, really rich, though.
I guess, yeah. Mr. Fry should go back to Captain Plunder.
True. Honestly, I like their dynamic.
Yeah.
No, that would actually be a great idea for a story, is that you have Proctor Speckle here, and he's like, I need you to be Mr. Hyde for this fight. And he's like, fine. And he takes the solution. But then Mr. Fry is like, oh, why am I here? I need to be with my captain.
Pretty hilarious.
Anyway. Yeah, so the reason that Supersonic is here is that, yes, he spent all of his money, and now he needs a job to make more.
So he's gonna go work at a bar.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to choose somewhere.
Yeah.
Ebony is like, yeah, that sounds good, I can help you out. And Pajamas is like, no, this is a terrible idea, the visions, they've told me. But they can't argue for very long, because a hobo gets thrown at them by Biohazard. So Ebony is like, shit, well, it's magic time, so I will cast a spell on you, except the spell doesn't work because he's too stupid for it to work.
Honestly, I fucking love that.
Freaking
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, I guess we haven't seen a lot of magic in this comic.
Not really.
It is kind of weird, though, that, like, I'm shooting you with Ray Blasts, and they just bounce off because you're an idiot.
You're too fucking dumb. It would have made more sense to say it's like, oh yeah, his armor can deflect it.
Or it would make sense if you say that, like, you know, it's an illusion that she's casting, but his imagination is unimaginably shitty.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
But yeah, instead, stupidity just has anti-magic effects, I suppose. Until she does it anyway. I'm not sure what the point is, because she just makes some decoy supersonics to distract him while they get the real one out of there.
Oh yeah, that's like the opposite of what we were saying made sense, because the raw blasts of magic don't work, but the illusions do. Huh.
Yeah, you'd think none of the magic would work, and he'd immediately be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, the raw blasts should work, and the decoys shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they get out of there, they get into the back room, and she's like, hey, Pajamas, use your psychic powers to connect to Supersonic's mind, find out his past so we can figure out what's going on here.
Mind melds are never a good idea.
True.
Yeah, see, the thing here is I'm like, this is going to end badly. That's the way it looks at the moment.
It's also weird because every time Pajamas and Ebony have interacted, Ebony has either doubted or straight up denied Pajamas' psychic powers.
Which is weird because they've been proven correct every time we've seen.
Also, she's magic.
Yeah.
If magic exists, why can't psychic powers?
Yeah, what the hell? Prejudiced.
Completely different things.
Pajamas does indeed connect to Supersonic's brain and is assaulted by visions of the demon.
This is a really great frame.
That is really
It's a good
frame.
panel. I might use that for the thumbnail.
Please do.
So, yeah, way to traumatize your friend. Although she does apologize for not taking her seriously before, so that's nice at least.
While Supersonic remembers everything and does not instantly go berserk, huh?
Yeah.
It's really weird. Biohazard busts through the wall, and then Supersonic is like, "Oh yeah, I know you."
Yeah,
And,
I know you, and I can deal with you now.
Yeah, and I know who I am. You're Supersonic, the evil demon that tried to destroy a planet. It's like, I'm afraid so.
But the demon didn't come back out. It's just...
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, they sort of make a bit of an explanation later.
Sort of,
but
yeah.
Usually, and in other stories, like when you have the plot point of a character regaining their memories, if they've become a completely different person after they lost their memories, there's usually some kind of internal conflict that happens at that point. But here it's just like, oh yeah, I remember it all, but like I don't get any of the emotions back. And like, you know, memories are a big part of who you are. So I feel like you can't just nonchalantly take on that information without at least a moment of freaking out. I mean, he's like, oh, memories have returned for like one frame, and he's like, okay, cool.
So I think that what they're trying to set up here, and maybe this is kind of spoiling some other stuff, but he says that he can tap into his prior power if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. And he says, the last time I used my energy, I felt an uncontrollable urge to destroy. So I think what they're saying is that the evil in Supersonic's heart is tied to his actual destructive capabilities. So if he's refusing to tap into that power, he's not going to have the evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a bit of explanation I was saying that they have. First of all, to that, this is hilarious because Supersonic has literally just become Sonic, like I was saying before.
Yeah, basically.
Because he can unleash ultimate power, but then he'll go crazy. Otherwise, he's normal, just like Sonic. Maybe you should separate that power, and then he won't have to struggle with it.
That's right. We'll get Super Sonic.
The recursive super army, as we talked about last week, yeah.
But the other thing about that is that, like, Supersonic, largely in the story, when they separate from Sonic at the end, they, like, actually seemed intelligent and spoke. Well, I guess also in the Special Zone, too. After they were separated. So they seemed to be aware of things, and they had, like, actual reasons. They were like, oh, my blue form is so pathetic. And, like, they seemed to hate everyone around them because they were just not as strong as them, basically.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like Broly, right? Where that's someone who can be docile in an ordinary scenario, but if he does tap into his power, it just becomes raw chaos thrashing around.
Right.
But Supersonic is not that. He is an intelligence. So who the hell is this guy that is now piloting his body?
No matter how you slice it, this is a bizarre plot line.
It is really weird. Yeah. And it ends on a weird note, too, because Biohazard makes a grab for Super, but he disappears because Sidewinder's machine that they were using only allows temporary access to Mobius from the Special Zone, and the cops shut it off.
What is it with these guys and being defeated by outside circumstances?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Well, and the cops just showed up here? Who tipped them off? Why are they here?
Maybe they've got a tracker on them.
I mean, I guess. I'm not saying Sidewinder shouldn't be arrested.
No, but it's just random.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that, like, so before Sidewinder mentioned something about a nuclear weapon, and, like, they had no evidence. But, like, now Sidewinder... Like,
they found the evidence.
They found the nuke.
Yes.
Jeez.
Alright, I'll take it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take that.
And in the end, Ebony, against her better judgment, frankly, does end up offering a job to Super. I guess because what the hell else is he supposed to do? You know, the authorities would
really have much of an option.
The authorities would never believe that he doesn't want to hurt anyone, and even if he doesn't, he kind of would still be justified for keeping him locked up.
Yeah.
Because if he can tap into that power, well, you still don't want that going unfettered. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so weird and interesting and confusing turn for his character to take, but you know, I want to see some growth. You know, maybe something interesting will happen.
Sure.
Not in this next story though. Face to face, Stringer and McMahon. Robotnik makes a peace offering to Sonic. You know how last week I was saying you'd grow to associate McMahon with a certain type of story?
Mm-hmm.
This is the type of story. 5 pages and nothing matters.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Badniks to fight in Emerald Hill Zone. Another weird design for them.
They are weird looking.
It's like two mushrooms stuck on the underside of each other or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Doesn't completely not look like a Badnik, at least.
No, it's at least a robot.
Definitely resembles one. Yeah.
But they're shooting at Sonic until one of them doesn't shoot at Sonic, but instead shoots a screen, which has Robotnik on it, saying, "I want to talk to you. I want a truce." Why?
Yeah, why?
There is a 0% chance this is genuine, and yet Sonic is like, well, I have to risk it. No, it's not a risk.
Don't.
It's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, there's no way he actually wants one.
Well, and also, even if it does, why do you have to risk it? You can just defeat him. You're not worried about him not being defeated.
Sure, he's on the back leg at this point, too.
But Sonic figures he might as well, I guess, so he goes and we are in Rocky Valley Zone. 7 out of 10 zone name. Did we have a zone name with that before? No, I'm thinking a Stone Tower Zone. But, and it's because we're on a rock tower. This is Sky High Peak, they call it. And Robotnik's
they're just standing on a super high rock peak. I don't even know how they got there. That's funny.
Well, Sonic can run up it. Maybe Robotnik had an airlift.
No.
But Robotnik is like, all right, man, I'm here in front of you. I'm the most gorilla that I've ever looked. Just give me one zone to control, and I'll leave everybody else alone.
He already has a zone. Actually several zones. All the zones on Flicky's Island.
Yeah,
Flicky's Island is a game island, so that's, a big multi-biome subcontinent. Maybe it's not like that in this comic. And there's no people for him to abuse there.
Right, that's what he wants.
But Sonic is like, no, and obviously it's a trap. Robotnik was a hologram, and there's a cannon that's gonna blow up Sonic, and oh no, it does blow up and it explodes. But then Sonic is still there, because Sonic is also a hologram.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't expect that. That actually kind of got me.
I didn't expect that either, but, talk about literally nothing happening.
There is absolutely no stakes here. It's holograms versus holograms. Maybe the laser was a hologram, too.
The entire fucking mountain was a hologram.
Yeah, maybe the mountain was a hologram. That must be it.
Maybe the zone Robotnik wanted to control was a hologram.
Maybe Mobius is a hologram.
They should have just given him a holographic zone instead.
What if none of this is real and it's all just a comic book?
What if this comic book is a hologram? Anyway,
good on you, Techno, for that. That's you haven't had a role in the story recently, so thank you, Techno.
It's nice to see you, Techno. We'll see you again in another 2 weeks.
I believe it's next week, but maybe, yeah. So yeah, really, really zero sum there. So everyone just goes home, and that's it.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, but let's move along to it's Christmas again. Black
It
Christmas.
feels like it was just Christmas.
Kitching and Elson, on Christmas Eve, some freak called Vile Peter is kidnapping children.
Freak.
And Sonic won't be enough to stop him alone. Why is Gargamel from the Smurfs here?
He's kind of like him, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Yes, this is Vile Peter, here to ruin Christmas by kidnapping children in a magic jar?
Oh my.
What is he gonna do with that jar?
Make wine, obviously.
Let's say that's the answer. Anyway, Sonic's here. He's gonna show up to stop him, thank goodness. But oh no, the freak throws glitter in Sonic's face and disappears.
Well, I don't know why you calling him the freak is so funny to me.
He's just some freak.
He really is just some freaky dude.
He's not any established villain. He doesn't have ties to anything else.
No, he just showed up.
But he runs away, but he doesn't make it far because a big red bearded guy catches him.
I can't believe that Santa is a recurring character in Sonic the Comic.
Yeah, we've seen him 3 times now.
Oh my god, he is.
Santa has had more appearances than Megatox.
It's true.
But yes, it's Santa Claus. And Sonic, perhaps understandably, perhaps not. I honestly don't know what to make of this. He tries to beat up Santa Claus, assuming this must be Robotnik in disguise.
I mean, I get it.
But Sonic is like, get real, Robotnik. The real Santa Claus doesn't say ho, ho, ho. Excuse me.
Literally what he's known for, Sonic.
Yeah, what are you talking about? And also, you've seen this guy in the Special Zone before.
That's true.
And maybe, actually, I was going to say maybe collaborated with him that time you blew up a space laser, but that was Short Fuse, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
We need Short Fuse here to teach Sonic the true meaning of Santa Claus.
So, I have a question about Sonic the Comic Santa lore. In his appearance with the space laser, it was established that Santa cannot be touched in anger, but Sonic attacking Robotnik or who he thinks is Robotnik, and throwing him around. Surely that's like an act of anger against Robotnik.
He was excited to beat up Robotnik.
He's not angry. He's filled with righteous justice power.
Exactly.
Or yeah, Sonic really enjoys beating up Robotnik, so it's not angry at all.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I guess that's how it works. All right, Robotnik just needs to change his mindset.
Yeah, but it's not Robotnik. Santa is real, and Sonic just threw him at a rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't take it personally, so it's fine.
I guess Santa's used to people thinking he's Robotnik.
If a guy came down your chimney one night in December, you would probably try to beat him up too.
I'm Jewish, of course I would.
Yeah, that too.
That's not usually something that happens to me.
It's not something that usually happens to anybody, which was the joke I was making, but you took it to a funny place too.
I know.
Also, we do get an explanation. Vile Peter is a North Pole elf gone bad.
Damn, Santa's got to control his slave labor.
That still doesn't explain what he was kidnapping children for, but we set him free.
Yeah, so this is odd because like the freak Vile Peter showed up at the beginning and then was easily defeated by Santa, and then the story was just about Sonic beating up Santa, and then at the very end they're like, oh wait, gotta have some
We gotta
lore
remember
about
Vile
elves.
Peter.
Like, is Vile Peter gonna show up again?
God, I hope so.
Take note of this.
I don't know.
God, I hope so.
I do know the answer, but I won't spoil it for you.
Good.
He's the real final boss.
Yeah, there's no Sonic Adventure arc at the end. There's only the Vile Peter arc.
He becomes chaos, perfect chaos.
Gosh, that was what the kids were needed for somehow. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, we free the children. He wishes us a happy Christmas. He leaves. Sonic gets presents, and you know, this is one of the very few times that Sonic has been portrayed as objectively in the wrong.
Yeah,
True.
So yeah, very, very, very silly story, but fun anyway. So let's move things along here to Riot Resolution, Stringer and Corona. On New Year's Day, the people of Emerald Hill find themselves lacking some direction. Sonic can't help, but maybe someone else can. And yeah, it's New Year's. We're doing New Year's resolutions.
no one has one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that are like, we can't decide on what our New Year's resolution is, so our resolution will be to be more decisive.
That's a fair enough resolution on its own.
Yeah, but don't worry. If we can't decide, there's the Center for the Undecided. There's a special center for making decisions.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like a Jordan Peterson lecture?
Jesus.
No. This seminar is, I guess, worse in some ways. It's led by Wally Dithers, and just by looking at him, you know that he's going to be a villain.
He needs to work on his posture.
Is he a hyena?
That's what I thought.
Which, good job, guys. You just had a comic last week about how we shouldn't judge hyenas. But,
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
But he's like, anyway, you guys having trouble finding a resolution? Your resolution should be destroying Sonic the Hedgehog.
Your resolution should be go murder Sonic. And they're all just like, cool.
This goes ridiculous in 2 seconds.
We needed to decide something, and he said to decide this, so we need to.
Yes, so they're even all like, sorry, Sonic, but we made a decision.
Yeah, and he's... Just to be clear, Wally Dithers here is working for the cult of Robotnik from last episode.
Right, yeah.
This, I guess, sort of... If they just done it in a little bit of a more believable manner, this would seem like the general concept is kind of good, which is like, you know, a bunch of sort of weak-willed individuals trying to turn them against Sonic. If it just wasn't in such a ridiculous way, I'd like it.
Yeah, because these aren't new converts. These are just guys that were like, I'm bored, tell me what to do.
It's silly more than anything.
Yeah, so maybe they'll get a better chance next time. Because, yeah, Sonic easily beats these unarmed civilians and runs away. But we also see that these guys weren't even the point. They were a complete distraction so that Wally and... Does the rooster guy have a name? I don't remember.
Yeah, he's Whip.
Probably.
His name is Whip.
Whip?
Right. Whip and Wally.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to mention that as soon as the civilians are like, oh, some guy told us to do this, Sonic is like, oh, it's not your fault, it's his fault. Okay. Like, they have no blame in this.
Yeah.
And, okay, no, I get Sonic feeling that way.
I mean, they didn't do anything to him, so he doesn't even really care. So.
Right, he's like, oh, well, you guys have basically been brainwashed. Like, half brainwashed?
Quick brainwashed.
They were empty hard
scrub.
drives and they wrote something to memory, is what it is.
Yeah, fair.
But yes, they were just decoys so that Whip and Wally could attack the hero's base with a tank. But apparently, the central joke here is that Wally really sucks because he can't decide what weapon to use, so Sonic blows up the tank before he has a chance.
I have a theory that Wally once was also an indecisive individual, and Whip told them to help them destroy Sonic by getting other indecisive individuals to go and attack him.
Oh god, it's a pyramid scheme.
I mean, that is the thief, is the indecisive... It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we end on, maybe we should all think for ourselves, as long as you think so, Sonic.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, not the best second outing for the cult.
No. Oh well.
I mean, it was entertaining, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for silly. And that is, it is good to have perspective that these comics need to be silly every once in a while because it's a kids' show. But
yeah.
Maybe we'll find some refuse in our final story of the night, which is a Tails story called Flipside, Stringer and Flint. Feeling that he lacks Sonic's magnetic influence on the crowd, Tails seeks to make himself cooler using hypnotherapy. And wow, quick way to get brainwashed by a cult.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even put that. I didn't even connect those. They're both hypnosis.
Yeah, well, and it's because they're not connected. It's just a funny coincidence.
No, I know.
But, Tails and Sonic are running through the city, and Tails is, sad because he doesn't get attention on the street the way Sonic does.
Yeah.
Which has been extremely inconsistent in these comics, because sometimes he definitely does.
True.
Sure.
But, it's okay. He sees a poster for Dr. Sorders. That's almost a play on words, but isn't.
It is?
Well, I assume it's meant to be, disorders, but it's Dr. Sorders. Maybe you're supposed to read it as Der Sorders? But Sonic's like, hey, why are you being a slow bitch? We've got Dickhead Sonic back for right now.
Oh, something I've noticed, was specifically because of this story, is that Sonic is more of an asshole in other people's stories.
I mean, I'm thinking...
In his own stories, he's not as much like that.
I'm thinking back to that Tails story from way, way back where Sonic was just, bragging about himself and then, made fun of Tails and Tails ran away and we thought Sonic was gonna, apologize, but he didn't.
Right.
Suddenly I have an urge to go back through all these comics and look over them again because maybe, just maybe, we have a case of an unreliable narrator here. And in Sonic stories, they are actually being retold by Sonic, and that's why he seems not quite as jerkish. But in Tails' stories, it's maybe a little more exaggerated because Tails is frustrated by it. That could explain also why people don't seem to mind Sonic being a jerk a lot of the time.
Huh, it's an interesting theory.
Maybe that's the reason that all of Sonic's friends are so incompetent toward the start of the comic. Either way, Tails decides to hang back and let Sonic run ahead to Greenfield Zone. That's so derivative, 2 out of 10. So he's
zone leader. That's definitely been established now.
Yeah. So he's staying back for the self-help remedies, and Dr. Sorders, the hypnotist, is not any kind of malicious actor. She isn't.
No. I was really expecting her to be one.
Yeah.
She has Tails stare into some colored lights. There are 4 lights, and it'll help him become more confident or likable or something. And well, apparently it works too well.
Yeah, now we get asshole Tails.
He cartwheels out of there and catches up with Sonic, and now he's wearing shades and a backward baseball cap because that's what cool people do.
I've definitely seen this frame of Tails, like, with the finger guns, like, drunk walking towards Sonic before.
Yeah, the finger guns, they're really good.
Yeah. I'm not sure where I've seen it, though. Probably just a meme.
There's some good frames in these comics. I think this goes to show that if Tails wants to be cool, then he should just wear stupid get-ups, because instantly everyone's like, "Wow, you're so cool, Tails!" It's like when he had those shoes from Grimer.
Yeah.
So like, that's all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a good point. Yes, as Lauren mentioned, Sonic is here to meet with the Zone Leader, and it's the reason that he's here to meet with him is because a hot air balloon is very slowly crashing.
When you describe it that way, it is not. Doesn't sound like a problem.
It seems like more of a problem until we see that like a lot of stuff happens while it's still crashing. So like it must not be very fast.
It really must not be.
Yeah, but they need Tails to fly up there and save it. But
he's too busy getting chicks.
He's too busy with his hot new self-image, so he doesn't care. But it's okay, because Sonic is gonna reverse psychologize him into helping. And yes, this is part of the weird thing, is that that's why I say it's very slowly crashing, is because we actually run away and like into a house where Tails is like getting coffee with these ladies.
Did he just like take over this house?
Yeah, is this a cafe maybe? I don't think they say who owns this place, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we have enough time to A, have the distress call go out for this, B, to run here, C, to have a conversation about how Sonic's going to go ahead, D, to notice the thing about Tails, E, to run inside this house where Tails is already getting coffee, F, to have the argument about this, and then G, to finally have Tails fly up there and save it, but be a jerk while he does it.
Right.
Very slow hot air balloon crash, as I said. I have to wonder, if they just let the rest of the air drain out of this thing, would it just land softly?
I mean, I think it would. It's how slowly it's falling.
It's funny, because it seems like they would be fine, except for the lion in the hot air balloon, for some reason, falls out at, just the perfect moment for Tails to come and grab them. Then meanwhile, Sonic is just like, oh, wait, I actually have a way to, like, slow the descent even. Wait, was it not at a safe speed before? But couldn't he have just done this, assuming the lion guy wasn't going to fall out, which he didn't know that at the time?
Right.
Also, let's note that the reason the hot air balloon is crashing is because the woodpecker co-pilot poked a hole in it. Woodpeckers can fly!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like, bird Mobians, I think, are kind of inconsistent whether or not they can fly.
I guess, because they don't generally have wings is the thing.
Right.
So you never know.
That never stopped Techno.
I know.
That's true.
Why you never know. So, yeah, very, very weird. Sonic decides, like, Tails, if you're going to be like that, you're going to be a liability. Sonic, you are a hypocrite. But, I don't know. It's very weird. Either this comic is equating cool with dickhead, or else this is the most amazing self-parody ever. Because it's like Sonic is trying to stop Tails from exhibiting the traits that he himself embodied throughout the early parts of this series, at least.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, in fairness, Sonic's dickhead moments did not get in the way of saving the world, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
True.
But Dr. Sorters shows up on an old-timey bike for some reason to explain the hypnosis that Tails went under. And also Amy shows up for a second to say that Tails is headed for the Salty Spittoon. Sorry, it's actually called the Tough Tea Club, which is funny because I was just talking about, are we going to sanitize the alcohol in these comics? And they mostly haven't. But we do have these rough biker men casually sipping tea, and they have teapots on taps.
Yeah.
Tails is harassing these bikers, and they pick a fight. But Sonic and the Doctor get there, so she dehypnotizes him. But
Then
then
Sonic is like, all right, well, sorry guys, no harm, no foul. Anyway, see ya. And then they're just like, we respect you, Sonic, for, saving Mobius and all that.
Right.
But also, you go to the sun, so we're gonna fight. Too bad.
Yeah, he's not upset about how Tails was treating him. He was upset that he thought he was going to get to fight somebody and then didn't. So he takes a swing, but then we jump cut to the ending where the Doctor has hypnotized them all into being peaceful hippies.
I sure hope this was with their consent.
Or temporary?
Or temporary.
Did she just destroy their identities with that?
I sure hope not.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll revert like Captain Plunder's crew did.
That was Chaos Emerald energy.
Yeah, that was Chaos Emerald energy. This is basically brainwashing.
Oh, the cult better not recruit this woman.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So yeah, that's that story. I don't know what the hell I was communicating, because it's not that hypnosis is bad.
No, I do not know.
So, yeah. Extremely weird selection of stories tonight. It's like we really ran the full gamut from cool callbacks to things we didn't know were going to come up again, to important plot stories, to complete filler, to just what the hell was this last one?
Honestly, yeah.
Yep.
It's
Also Santa Claus.
It's almost impressive. Yeah, and Santa Claus.
Sonic the Comic, man. It's got variety.
Yeah,
True.
I'll give it that.
Yeah. But next time on Deep Dive Zone, we will be doing more weird stuff, probably. I actually don't know what exactly is coming up, other than, I believe, the first Amy comic is next week, so that's going to be great.
Holy shit.
Nice.
But with all that said, that is next week. We are done for tonight. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you to my co-host for being here. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms, suggestions, or feedback, you can reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. We will see you next week for another exciting episode. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and take care.